Okay, so welcome everybody, and thank you so much for coming. We're very privileged today to welcome Kamilu Hassan Hamza, who is an independent researcher with a particular interest in the history of Hausa land, including the history of Islam in the area, as well as the socio-cultural history of the Maguzawa, the Hausa animists. He's formerly the director of research at the Hausa Cultural and Historical Society, Kano, Nigeria, and he's the author of Azalin Hausawa on the historical origin of the Hausa people and an ethnographical work on the Hausa animists titled Dunia Maguzawa. He's currently with the Center for Environmental Research and Development in Kano, Nigeria. Before I hand over to Kamilu, who will speak for about an hour, including 2 videos that he's going to show us, I just thought I'd put this talk in context. We set up at the beginning of last year a Sadler seminar series funded by the University of Leeds to think about animism within a global context. And we called this series Animist Engagements, Creativity, Ecology and Indigeneity. And by engagements, we wanted to signify that we wanted to reach beyond the university and make this not into just simply an academic discussion amongst academics, but reach out in various ways to think about the ethics and the politics of academics engaging with peoples who are working both inside and outside academia, and the questions that arise from that engagement. So you can see from my slide how should one indeed engage with people who either identify as animists or engage in practices that others might understand to be animist, and without turning them or their practices into the objects of disciplinary inquiry. So really the seminar series is about that problem, which is in some senses an anthropological problem, but a problem also for anybody from any other discipline who wishes to engage with this term animism, which of course has a very fraught history, which I won't go into at the moment, but I'm sure you're all aware of its 19th century origins as a kind of a descriptive label for peoples who have beliefs that were understood at the time to be erroneous beliefs, largely, of course. We wanted to think about ways of creatively collaborating with people and how performance and practice-led research might open up a collaborative space for thinking and practicing animism. We also wanted to think about questions of belief, which also involves inevitably questions of skepticism and irony and the kind of long historical tradition, especially within anthropology, of understanding these beliefs as an object of study, but not as something that the studiers themselves may subscribe to. And we wanted to work out what's involved there as well. And obviously there were ecological dimensions to what we wanted to think about. And we also wanted to think about issues of enchantment and disenchantment, animation and deanimation. Is animism a practice that's associated only with, for instance, non-Western peoples, with indigenous peoples, or are there animistic principles at large in modernity, within capitalism, and how do we go about thinking those through? So we've had a few sessions. We were very privileged in November to have a visit from Tawana Cruz from Brazil, who led a 2-day workshop on the beliefs and practices and the songs and the dances of his own community, and also of their very perilous environmental position. And we wanted to think up ways of announcing or practicing solidarity with peoples whose ecology, whose environment is threatened. We also had a session on cinematic animism, thinking about cinema itself as a form of animation, but also in this particular instance, looking at a film that engaged with animistic beliefs in Thailand. And we also had a long evening of poetry by poets who are engaging in one way or another with animistic traditions. And that was in February, just before lockdown. And then Kamilu was due to come and talk to us in March, and he actually made it all the way to the UK to come and talk to us. But then, unfortunately, Leeds said, no, we can't have any more seminars. And Kamilu had a nice time in London, but then had to go back back to Nigeria without having talked to us. So now we're resuming that interrupted conversation today. And just to announce that there are a few events that we've got lined up. On the 3rd of March, Gemma Deer is going to talk to us from Germany about her new book, Radical Animism, Reading for the End of the World. And on 12th of May, Christopher Bracken is going to talk to us from Alberta in conversation with John Mowat, one of my colleagues in Fine Art and Cultural Studies, about his book, Magical Criticism, The Recourse of Savage Philosophy. And we have scheduled still a symposium for June, which is looking rather unlikely to happen right now. I would rather it didn't happen online, but it may well happen online in the end. So if you want to know more about that and you're not part of our animist engagements collective, then do email me afterwards and I can keep you informed and up to date by adding you to my list of people who are interested in animism in one way or another. Okay, so that's me. I'm going to try and stop sharing now and hand over to Kamilu now. Kamilu, are you up to take up the baton now? Are you ready to go? Great. Your microphone is off still, Kamilu, at the moment.
Okay,
now we can hear you. Okay, I'm handing over to you, Kamilu.
It's okay.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yep. Yes, we can hear you. Yep, great.
Okay. Okay, right. Okay. Let me start from from my research. I do my research in 2000 and at least in early 2000 on what we say the origin of Hausa. That I published a book called the Asalin Hausawa, means the origin of Hausa people. When I'm doing that research, then I have to go to village to discuss with the old people, so that I found out that there is some kind of culture, some kind from the Hausa, non-Muslim Hausa. We call them Maguzawa. That is the non-Muslim Hausa. So that I start doing this research with them, so that I learn many kind of cultures and traditions in respect to their religion, which we in the Kano, in the city, we don't know where about this religion. So that I'm very interested. So that this is I think is the reasons of my research. My research is I do it in the part of southeastern Kano Kingdom. That's southeastern Kano. Because there we have a lot of Maguzawa, a lot of non-Muslim Hausa. But when I'm doing this research already, I write a book which I named the Junior Maguzawa. The Junior means in Hausa world. Then Maguzawa means Maguzawa, the world of Maguzawa. That is the name of the title of the book. I write this book since 2010, but I published the book last year. Yes. Then in that book or in that research, I find out there's some other research in the part of southwestern Kano. There's other Maguza there. That Maguza, I found out one of the research of Joseph Greenberg. He called the influence of Islam on a Sudanese religion. This research is also very important. He was doing it in 1949. All these days, I did not find out the research of this when I finished writing my book, so that I found out that research is Joseph Greenberg. Then I have another research in that part of southwestern Kano of Maguzawa is dangantakar al'ada da addini tasirin musulunci kan rayuwar Hausawa, means the confluence of custom and religion, the impact of Islam on the life of the Hausa. These two research also are very important. This one is he do it when he is when he is doing his thesis in I think it's 1982. All this is all research. But I later came to this part of southwestern Kano. This is the important maybe information. I found out all of Maguzawa in that area have been converted to either Islam or Christianity, so that there's no Maguzawa in that area. Now we have only reserve. We can call them reserve of Maguzawa in south eastern part of Kano. That is the issues of the what we call their endangered species, like other animals who call endangered species. That religion or that culture is going to be no culture. Know that Maguzawa maybe by now to some years, if we did not take, I say, some kind of action, if we can. And let us see who are the Maguzawa, so that we can understand what the importance of even of this seminar. The Maguzawa are a subgroup of Hausa people who are yet to be converted to either Islam, to whom a majority of Hausa people are Muslims, or to Christianity, despite intensive missionary activities for that purpose. It must, however, be admitted that with the passing away of the older generation of Maguzawa, the younger generation is succumbing to the pressure of the evangelists, both Muslim and Christian, as well as other factors that will be discussed later. We can say before the coming of Islam, the Hausa kingdom, we can say, is the animist kingdom before the coming of Islam. Hausa kingdom is the animist kingdom. We said before the coming of Islam, the people there were adhering to the traditional religion, which involved worshipping of both animate and inanimate objects like stones, rivers, trees, spirits, and sometimes we can say the soul of their ancestors. And the Islam
This is one of two videos that Kamilu asked us to play at the end of his presentation, but we will do that now.
Maguzawa is the ancient tradition of the Hausa people of northwestern Nigeria. These people are nature worshippers, and they believe that stones, trees, animals are the home of living entities. The Maguzawa preserve their religion despite pressure from Islam and Christianity.
Akwai wata wace ainihin magani suke bayarwa, wata kuma wato wani abu ake kira girka wanda za a zo a zaunar da mutum haka nan da gari da abin da ya rinka mai kiɗan da yana ta gidan haka, to za a kwan bakwai wasu kwana uku idan kwana bakwai ko kwana uku.
Yayan Fulani ana kiran yayan Fulani wasu tumi da koko.
Ko yanzu da ma ta ki da ana yanka zakara da dama.
The Maguzawa believed that the world of the spirit and the material are connected. Through ritual and dance, humans can take part in the spirit world. Sacrifice to nature is an essential part of that bond. Yankan Kofa literally means cutting the gate. It's one of the main rituals and it involves stone worship. The whole village takes part in this event. One ritual alone can take up to 4 days. Shanty is performed at the end of Nkankofa or any time in the year between December and February. Shanty is a dance music form of and mock bite is usually performed using sharp object known as bora. The Maguzawa have chosen to keep their ancient tradition and heritage, which is why they currently face many challenges. The number of Hausa animists has fallen and the future of the Maguzawa world is in danger. Their ecology and the knowledge of natural world must be preserved.
I said Islam gained prominence in Hausa land around 14th century, especially here in Kano, Katsina, and other towns of Hausa land. But we can say the clan of Maguzawa, however, refused to accept the new religion and kept their ground in adhering to the religion of their ancestors. It is from here that the term Maguzawa originated, because group names are in Hausa usually Maguzawa, because from Maguza, that is the origin, is the Maguza, the clan is Maguza. Then RWA means Maguzawa, that is the belong to Maguza, that is the clan. It's like we call Europeans, Europe, we call Europe Ture in Hausa. Europe, we call Europe Ture. Then Europeans, we call them Turawa. That W and A is most in Hausa. That is the prefix of W and A, means that people belong to Maguza. That is the clan. That's the name of the clan. Okay. Simply we can put, you can say Maguzawa singular, Bamaguje is a singular, means simply Maguzawa means a non-Hausa Muslim, because we have other terms, Arna in Hausa. If you say Arna, it's non-Muslims, but that non-Muslims is anyone who is non-Muslim called Arni or Arna in plural. But Maguzawa is only Hausa non-Muslims. That is the terms. Only Hausa non-Muslim call them Maguzawa. Okay, let me go to the video that you have shown. That's the film. Maybe we can see, we call that that what we see, the ritual. They call them Yankan Kofa. Yankan Kofa in Hausa means cutting the gates. Cutting the gate. They are doing it twice a year. They are doing it twice a year. The first during harvesting. During harvesting. Then when they harvest, they will do it. Then later during dry season, that means before the rain season. They are doing it twice a year. They call it Yankan Kofa. Then we can understand in that Yankan Kofa entails a lot of objects to which particular attributed are attached. These items are attributed significance in the world of the Maguzawa. The person is stone. The stone, you can see a stone, the round stone, and the big one inside the round. That stone, it is one of the objects of worship in Hausa land. It symbolizes the strength and durability. Strength and durability. That is the symbol of stone. It is also believed to be the steed for the spirit. Then it is significance when it comes to Yankan Kofa. I think it's not only for Yankan Kofa that a stone that's important. The tombstone is not only used for that purpose of Yankan Kofa. Virtually every aspect of Maguzawa's life has something to do with it. It is their oracle, like oracle. It is their oracle, that stone. It is a consulted for protection and blessing. Not only in Yankan Kofa, sometimes they will go and do it. And even in the conflict resolutions, they use it in the conflict resolution. They said when somebody has in that conflict resolution did not, and maybe we can say the leader did not understand among two complex persons who is right and who is wrong. Then they will take a cock to that stone and they will cut it or kill it. When they kill it, then they will just spray it. Any when you kill some cock, it will scroll. If you're scrolling to another one person from that two person, that person where the cock scrolling to him is the liar. This is how they resolve the conflict of resolution and other settlement. Or they are using it when they are going to wedding. When the wedding are celebrated, they are celebrating their wedding in front of that stone. And when it comes to the last mention, maybe the elder or guardians of when it comes to engagement, in times of engagement, the parents or the guardians of both the bride and the groom will make an offering of beer, alcohol, to the stone, and say as follows. Usually they say, They can say their elders, they are saying to the stone, their elders, it is a boy that has seen a girl and expressed his intention to marry her. The matter is now brought to you for approval and blessing. When it comes to engagement, they will go to stone and ask approval and the blessing from the kurwa. You know kurwa? Kurwa in Hausa is a soul. It's a soul. We wrote in, we say ray, or say ray, or say kurwa. That kurwa is the soul of their ancestors. Or we can say spirit of their ancestors. That's the kurwa. And that kurwa again is very important in that what we saw today. That's Yankan Kopa. When the first person who wear this skin of the animal, the first person sits in front of that stone, he has to say something. Gapara di. Gapara, literally we can say move or get way or give us way, but it's like excuse. Gaparadi, gaparadi, gaparadi. That gaparadi is an excuse they are saying to their soul of their ancestors, to their kurwa of their ancestors. You must say that this gaparadi, gaparadi. So that when after you say gaparadi, then they start narrating or they start stating their ancestors. If somebody like that Maguzawa, the leader, the priest, if he can remember maybe 10 to 20 person, 10 to 20 person, he has to state all that 10 to 20 persons from somebody to another to another to another. Then he has to thank them and ask blessing from them. That is another aspect of what we saw now. And the third one is a tree. You see the tree. That tree is very important. They call that tree dashi. Dashi is a tree in Hausa. In Hausa land, we can say it is also the object of worship among the Maguzawa. That's a dashi. It's among the elongated or lifespan. The spanning over a decade or sometimes century. That's the tree. Some cases maybe to century. Such trees are only approached to the priest, not any other person. Only to the priest can approach that tree, and that is associated with the spirit, that the spirit called Kure. The one spirit called Kure. Kure is a female. It is a male of hyena. Is a male of hyena. That is the spirit. That always that spirit is attributed to that one tree. That's dashi. In each and every Maguzawa house, you can find out the has that tree. That tree is most in each and every home of Maguzawa. It's very important that tree. And we can say another aspect of this Yankan Kopa is spirit. That I told the spirit is called Kuri. That Kuri is the one is very important. Then the fifth one is beer. That's the local alcohol that have been made. That this barasa, they call it barasa. Barasa, that is beer, occupies a significant place in life of the Maguzawa. It is part of the essence of life. Hence, it is present during all events of significance like rituals, festivities, and hospitalities. The Maguzawa believe that just as the beer is lovable to them, it must equally be lovable to all those who matter to them. That is called barasa. All who matter to them is also lovable. So that if you are doing any ritual or festival, that beer, that basa, that local alcohol, with the either by the religions or by any other festivity, the most bring it and the most use it. You can see they use it to throw it in the stone, in the trees, And after that, then they start drinking that beer. And also the sixth one is blood. You have to spill the blood. You know, the sprinkling of the blood of the sacrifice objects, in most cases the cock. This is done to show appreciation and gratitude, or seek help and blessing from the object to which the sacrifice was made. And the seventh one is music. Both the spirits and the souls of ancestors are attract to music. This they believe. Both the spirits and the souls of their ancestors attract to music. That is why the jita man, they call it garaya. Garaya is a jita. Then in Hausa call it garaya, jita or jita. Play is a constant participant in the Maguzawa, Yankan Opa, and also in Bori. Then we will discuss about Bori later. Okay? Are you with me? Okay, then the fifth one is spirits. We can discuss about spirit, because spirit, I said that Kuhure is not only spirit, there's many spirits. The spirits are very significant in the life of Maguzawa. They are central to every ritual or religious activity of the Maguzawa. To the Maguzawa, the spirits are a species of human being. Only that they are invisible. They call it Mutanang Oye. Mutani means people. Oye means high. That people, they can say invisible ones, or invisible people, or invisible humans, or invisible objects. That they call Mutanang Oye. This they do perhaps due to their belief that the spirits transform into humans, or because of the belief they have that all creatures came from a single origin. This is their belief. All creatures came from single origin and exemplified by the concept of Kangida. That concept of Kangida is very, very important in Maguzawa, because it is the relationship between a Maguzawa and the plant or animals. We can say it is the belief of the Maguzawa that there is a strong bond and relationship between humans and other animals. Humans and other animals like totem. And we can say, which is everything is similar to what the social anthropologists call totem. The nature of this relationship that is mutual friendship. The nature of the is mutual friendship and absence of harm. That is the nature. Mutual friendship and absence of harm. It premised on the belief that there is an evolutionary link between humans and animals. And every lineage, family, or clan has a specific animal to which it is related. It is based on this that some families give animal names to their children. You can see you can have a lion. There's the name of a person Zaki, a hyena, you can name Kura in Hausa. Then you can make a bully, a monkey, the name of the person, because the name of the animals is very important to them, so that sometimes their children bear the names of animals. No family member will eat, attack, or kill their kangida, or you can say kangida or totem, or any part or organ of such a totem. This tradition is passed down by one generation to the other. The genesis of such a relationship, however, is initiated by the earliest progenitor of the family, living in living memory. You can say maybe the founder of the family, or one reason we can do it in one reason or the other. up to they declare a certain animal as his candidate. You can say what he is doing sometimes is gathering together the entire members of his household and proclaim it to them that this is what they are saying when they want to have candidate, when they want to have one animal as a totem. They say, so and so animal is our relative. So and so animal, maybe they can say monkey. Monkey is our relative. From now on, it will be our totem. It will be our candidate. Nobody should harm it, not to talk of killing it. And even if it is killed by someone else, we must not eat from it. Whoever deviates from this should have himself to blame for whatever evil befalls them. The spirit or the Saping Gida, the so-called Saping Gida. Saping Gida is like God, like spirit. The spirit or the Saping Gida bear testimony to this, or be the witness of what we said today. This is how they can do this Pengida, how they can find one animal to say this is our animals. And also we can say the designations of Pengida render the low-key animal safe from any harm, at least. Maybe if one home chose snake as their Pengida, unfortunately, that snake bite one person from that particular family. Nobody will kill that snake. What they're saying is, no, this snake is not real one. It's not real one. Will be the bad spirit transformed into this snake. That's why he bites you. So that still they maintain that relationship. They maintain that relationship. They say, don't kill the snake, don't harm the snake. If any snake harm you, it's not real snake. That is the excuse given to the family. I think that is a good protection that the Maguzawa gives to the wild animals. I think, okay, let's go to the priests, because there's sometimes is that we need to understand who is the mediator. There is a mediator, or has the link between humans and the spirit. Then the higher priest in Maguzawa called Maguza, that is the name of higher priest, called Maguza, is the name of higher priest, is the link between the dead and the living. That is the link between the soul of their ancestors and the living one. Or sometimes it is the link between the spirits and the human beings. Sometimes, and another times we can have body priest. Body is a way of possessing a spirit, but that body, that embody, that man we can say embody. Embody is a man that has possession of spirit, one or two or more spirits. We can have Bamaguji has possession of one spirit. So that man, embody, also is a mediator, is a link between the spirit and the humans. Okay. The body priest power is invoked by trigger. In that case, the first case is if the leader of the family is, or the priest of the family, he does not need to be involved or to get music or something. In the ritual, he has a way of communicating with the spirits in the ritual. But in body, there must be something which causes that body to be a link or a mediator between the spirit and the humans. In that body, power is invoked by a trigger which may be some strong emotion like anger. When he's angry, then he will, that the spirit come to him, embody him, then he starts saying something, or fall down and start saying something for that embody. Or sometimes a particular music associated to his spirit. When that garaya doing it, that guitar, then there's some particular, each and every spirit, there's a one or another music related to that spirit. When that music starts, then the body will be mediator, then he start embodying that, the spirit start embodying him, then he start to say something. No. And also when he is trying to cure a sick person, when somebody comes, brought a sick person to him, then he was embodied by his spirit, then he starts communicating then and saying something. And also now I think what we will do is to go to the next our next video, that is Bori. After that, then we will explain what is Bori means. We'll see it and we will explain it.
Wonderful, Kamilu. Thank you so much. Yep. So we'll go to the next video. Steve, have you got that? Here we go.
Okay. That's great.
Kamilu, is there sound for this video?
No sound, but there's a sound. I don't know what's wrong, but there's a sound. There's a music, there's a sound. Try, check the connection. There's a sound in the video.
Okay, we will. Did you hear that, Steve?
Let's see if this works. My apologies for that. I told you I'd mess up.
Not at all.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's better.
My apologies, Kamilu.
masu kallon mu a halin yanzu dai Hajiya Amina Ardada shugabar 'yan gorin garin Lumu da ke karamar hukumar Musa a jihar Katsina ta faɗo gorin, kuma akwai alamar aljanun da suka shiga jikinta suna magana ne da ita. to amma mu da ke gabatar muku da wannan shirin ba ma gane irin maganganun da ke wakana tsakanin su da na aljinu da kuma ita Hajiya Amina yar dada shugabar yan borin da ke garin Lumu.
farin ciki ake da zaman ku a wajen wannan godiya an zo a baki kauce haka kai kuda yawwa ya yi haka
Allah ruwa ana ci ne wato gaba da ba ba ko kuma ba ni kura a kan da shi kuma na ci kuma wanci ba na ci
kamar da kan da rafi kuma abin da ka ka harka kai banda dan ka taki magana ya maga alheri wannan wasan wani ne to
wannan da yasa aka suka dafa ba wata da wata shiya
gaskiya ne to ai mun ji daɗi saboda wannan abin da ya fara faruwa ta farkin kasan mai garin mu ai mun ci ba mun gode ma Allah saboda gargajiya ce da aka manta da
maka shi ma wanda ta saka wanda ci
gaskiya ne gaskiya ne ai kuma yana godiya yana nan yana kallo yana godiya mu ma mun gode yana godiya ko mu ma muna yi Allah ka kara yin wari ne Allah ka kara yin wari ne mun gode ga lafiya mu ga alheri
ni za ci bata
to ma da
mun gode gida baya mama za mu tafi yaushe zai maku mama ku ni ga na
mun gode ya ga kallo kama kamu mun gode mu ga lafiya mu ga alheri
Okay, that is interesting. This is a body, means okay, let me go for body. Let me explain it a little so that to come back to what the video is clear. Body belief in the spirit is central to the life of Maguzawa. As a matter of fact, the spirit can be said to be the central focus of Maguzawa's everyday life. It is their belief that everybody is constantly in the company of their spirits. Perhaps that is why people, even among some Muslims, Hausa, believe that protest when someone stands close to them when they are sitting, as it is believed that this kind of gesture can provoke one's accompanying spirit, because all of Hausa people, or even the Muslims, want to believe there's always one spirit with him, so that if you stand close to him, he can be involved, because the other spirit don't like somebody to stand close to you when you are sitting. Okay. So the Maguzawa spirit are species of human beings. This is what we told earlier. Only they are invisible. therefore call them Mutanam Boye, invisible one. They do perhaps due to the belief that the spirit transforms into humans, because of the belief they have that all creatures come from a single origin. This is their belief. All creatures came from a single origin, as exemplified by the concept of Candida. I will explain what a Candida is. Then the Maguzawa also believe that every family or clan has its own spirit that keeps track of the members of that family or a clan. Even this, I see, even these traditions, even some Muslims, some Hausa converted Hausa Muslims, they believe that they have this one spirit, or that's the home spirit, like Candida. Then you have to get one spirit for the whole family. Sometimes if something happening to somebody in the family, then they can go and do ritual to that spirit, so that by doing that ritual, they will save the person who has been ill or something occurred to him. Then the Maguzawa believe that there are about 3,016 spirits, out of which only 150 are associated with the body count. And the spirit, just like their human counterpart, can be male or female. The female spirit include, we have a lot, but you can see that the big one, we have Wargona. Wargona means the mother of palm. Then we have Wargari, means the mother of town. Then we have Wardawa, means the mother of forests. The mother of forests. Then we have Inna, just the mother.
Okay, we seem to have lost Kamilu again. Oh, here he comes back. Hi, Kamilu.
You've come back on mute, Kamilu. It's a setting, I'm afraid. You need to turn your microphone on.
Kamilu, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Kamilu. Hey, yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
Back in charge.
Yes, we have this female spirit, then we have male spirit. In male spirit, we have King Aljam, or the king of the spirits. Then we have Baba Maza, the leader of the spirit, or the chief of the man, or the chief of the men, that is Baba Maza. Then we have Serkin Rabi, the king of palm. Then we have Sarkurua, the king of river. Then we have Meklago. Meklago is the one of the spirit always live along the bank of the river. It's the thousands. I think we have 3,000 spirit, or more than 3,000 spirit, but only few we can analyze in this case. Okay, then in the spirit they have animal spirit, like they have monkey as a spirit, they have lion as a spirit, they have hyena, that is Kura and Kuri as a spirit. This Kura is among the best or among the lovable spirit for Maguzawa. Kuri, that is the male of hyena. Then we have Chajaraki, the snake. We have snake spirit, snake as a spirit. Then they have kind of not animals. Then you have stone as a spirit. Then you have even ant as a spirit. Then they have like reservoir, randa, call it randa in Hausa, randa. That's reservoir as a spirit. Then they have one spirit related to Hamatan, call him Batui. batoi is only sometimes used to cause the fire outbreak. That's a batoi. The different spirit. That's the Maguzawa have. Let us go to the Maguzawa believe that the spirit are visible only to the body performance. Only to the body. Nobody will see a spirit. Nobody. If you see a spirit, they call it in Maguzawa Gamo. If you see a spirit, they call it Yai Gamo. Gamo means he meets with spirit. Whenever any person meets with spirit, he has to be cured by body or body performance. It has to be taken to the person who is the body to cure him. They have two things for if somebody meets with spirit. One thing is if that just he need cure, not to be part of their cult. If just he need cure, then they will cure him. If you want to be part of their cult, then they call it, he will be Godia. Godia means is the female of horse. The female of horse means Godia, then you can be Godia. When you become Godia, then they will do what they call it Girka. Girka is a way of to have someone to possess the spirit. It's the process of possessing the spirit, so that they will take him out of his family, take him to one room for sometimes for 3 days to 7 days. Then they are doing this garaya, this jita, and any other thing like this. Then any spirit come to him, then he will speak. Then it's like, if he said, you want to take this as your possession, they will ask the spirit. If the spirit agreed, then this is your possession. From that time, that person has possessed spirit. Maybe he possessed Kure, maybe he possessed Sarkin Rafi, maybe he possessed Sarkin Dawa or Inna or any other spirit. This is also Girka is very, very important in body. It's the way of somebody to possess the spirit. And there is another way. You can possess the spirit by inheritance. If your mother is among Girka performance or anything, just when the father died or when the mother died, just direct go to his son. He will choose the son, maybe he has 5 or 6 sons, but that spirit will choose only one. Then to go to that person directly possess the spirit and continue what the family doing or what his father or mother doing. Okay, they say the initiation will be seated on Karauni. You see that woman? That day, that's the mat where this woman lay is Karauni. Call it Karauni in Hausa. That is that's the mat you saw that woman. Is called it Karauni in Hausa. A locally made mat is locally made mat. Okay, there will be wrap or cover. You see that woman cover with kind of one. So you see wrap or cover with white. Sometimes white, but this one is not white. But sometimes in terms of Girka, it's mostly be white. But this one is not Girka. It can be covered with any type of cloth. Okay. Plain clothes called alawayo. That one, plain one, white one called alawayo. When the guitarist, that the one who is guitarist, that's the gumi, will be playing the instruments. Every spirit has its peculiar melody, that peculiar sound or peculiar tune. Every spirit has its peculiar tune. Okay, the guitarist will be playing as many tunes as possible until the reaction is seen from the initiator. Maybe you don't, the guitarist, you don't know the actual spirit that person possesses. So that he will try this one. If it's not, if the spirit doesn't come, then he will try another. If the spirit doesn't come, then he will try another. This is the way that he's doing it. And also, the teacher will be playing as many as possible until the reaction seen from the initiator. Then the reaction when seen indicates that a spirit agreeable or agreed to the initiate has been found. The process will continue until it becomes ascertained that the spirit and the initiated have fitted well into each other. It's at this point that the process of initiation becomes complete, making the initiate a full-fledged body priest, getting activated or invoked into action the moment the tune of his resident spirit is played. Okay, again, Maguzawa classified the spirit into two. We have white spirits and black spirits. White one, we can say is a good, somehow we can say good spirit, and also somehow we can say bad spirit. But the problem is, both white and black cause ill, cause sick to the person. The only difference is the conditions of the spirits. Some conditions are simple. If the condition of the spirit is simple, that one is white spirit. Maybe the spirit causes headache, and also he has only a chicken. That one is simple. When you come with only chicken and slaughter all the chicken or kill the chicken, don't use God. That one is white spirit. But some spirits are black one. The reason for blackness is not their costume match problem or match sick. Sometimes the conditions is hard conditions. Maybe they say you bring cows, 2 cows, 3 cows, you go to somewhere, you do something hard. That category is a black spirit, but both white and black cause sick to the person. But the only difference is the conditions of the which they sick after the one. Then the important thing, maybe when we saw the video Kings, we can see a woman close to that woman who has that possession, for who possess the spirit. That woman, they call it Meirukon Kwaria, means he is taking or carrying the calabash, or maybe you can say simply is carrying the like bucket or something that's to have put something. That is Meirukon Kwaria. She's very important in Boy because she's the interpreter. She interprets what that woman said. Nobody can interpret except that woman. Because when the woman possesses her spirit, she don't know what she's saying, she don't know what she's doing. After she recovered, become normal, then that interpreter will tell her, you say something, you say so, blah, 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 blah. You say this woman will go to get medicine from somewhere, or to bring ram, or to bring something. That interpreter is very important in each and every activities of the body. Usually, this woman, if the body or possess, or some person who possesses the spirit is man, but usually that woman, that Merukon warrior is woman. We cannot see man taking that calabash. So that who is taking that calabash is very important in body. It is interpreter. When that woman soul is recovered, then that the Merukon warrior would tell her what she's saying. Sometimes what she's saying is not normal language that we familiar with. It's not even the Hausa, the language. Sometimes it's something only that woman can understand what she is saying. She's also have some kind of half spirit, not full spirit like her, but she's interpreter. She's very important. I think we can say now we'll go to the, at least with the end of this discussion. But the important thing is what's happening to this Maguzawa. This is, I think this is the one, because we are saying there are endangered species like animals. They say endangered species, they are close to wipe out. The evangelism, the Muslim and Christian, they are hunting them. They will wipe out them. Like I have stated earlier, Islam came to Hausa land in around 14th century. Well, the Maguzawa stuck to their traditional system of belief and practice. Thus, we have the legend of Gwandara. Gwandara is a people now living in Nasarawa state in Nigeria, that is central Nigeria. but in the story, they are living, they are here in Kano. They are here in Kano. When the Islam comes, one priest, he did not accept the Islam. What he's saying, he said, this religion which these Arabs or some like them borrowed is not good for them. They say, Gwanda Rawa da Sallah means traditional religious of dancing is more appealing than the Muslim prayer. This is what he said, so that what he's saying it became the name of the clan. They come as a name of who follows him, Gwanda. They just remove Salah, the second Gwandara. That's mean the dancing is more appealing, is more suitable to them than this Muslim prayer, so that they go south. They form that number. That you can see, this is the pace resistance from the priest of Kano in 14th century. That thing continued. Even now, some of them converted, but still there are some following their traditional religion. We can call them Maguzawa again. And others just go to the bush without following him, but they are living around or in the bush or in the village of the kingdom, so that will not be followed, and they will not convert them. They leave them to continue their religion. Okay, so Gwandara, what is that? Then the story of Gwandara is a pointer as to how Islam was initially resented due to the absence of merriment, entertainment for them, because entertainment and amusement in it. Because still Maguzawa, they like this amusement. All dancing, always they are doing this dancing. They like this amusement and music. Always they are doing music. At least in the preparation of the Kano Prince, we can say this is what we say, okay. In spite of the resilience exhibited by the early Maguzawa, the contemporary Maguzawa are facing inevitable extinctions as they are virtually excluded from material progress and development. I think this is the issues now. And also, we can say the only way to have access to that is by converting to either Christianity or Islam. If Bamagujo want to do a good life, it has to be converted either to Islam or to Christianity. If you don't want to convert it, then you live like how he is. Even sometimes they are fighting to get a wall, to get a good water. Nobody care about them, because if you want to, you are blessed to be liberated from this problem of poverty and this lack of materials, you have to be converted either to Christianity or to Islam. That is the problem. There's also the influence and impact of Western education. You know, in Nigeria, you say the education is compulsory. Here in Kano, the education is compulsory, so that Maguzawa has to take their children to school. But if the school is belong to government, the religious studies is must. That is Islam in part of Kano. If in the part of Christian dominant state, there has to be to learn Christianity. This Christianity and Islam sometimes abuse this body worship idol or worship something like this, so that their children maybe in the next 10 to or 20 years, they will be all converted to either Islam or Christianity, because they don't have alternative. If you don't want to have a Western education, then it's ready for them to accept either Islam or Christianity. Even the private institution established in the area is either established by Christian missionaries or you can say Muslim missionaries, not either Islamia or Christian school, so that they must be converted to either Christianity or Islam. I think this is a very, very important, or this is a very, very problem that the Maguzawa are facing. Maybe from now to some years, they will all wiped out, because their children will not respect their tradition, will not respect their culture, because they learn something in the school. When they come back, I know from the school, the children start questioning what are you doing? This is not good, because this is Allah, or the God say, or the Jesus, all they start saying all these things. So that at the end, when they grown up, they lost that tradition. There are also a lot of consequences of extinction of the Maguzawa with their conversion to either Islam or Christianity. At the center of the Maguzawa worldview is the relationship between man and his environment, as exemplified by the position occupied by the animals and the natural object like rivers, wells. I think we can say the problem that's in cause. When you go to the area, still in Kano, you can see a lot of trees, because those trees protected by the tradition, by the culture. When those people abandoning their tradition and culture and religion, they start cut the tree. No respect to the trees. So that then you will see in their forest or in their area not enough trees. Here in Kano, we go to the Muslim area, you will see the street is very pure, because no one attached that respect to the tree. We do not respect to the trees. This tree, or just cut it and use it, or just cut it and leave space. But in that area, no one will go and cut the tree, except for sometimes if they need wood for firearms, they will use the smaller one, not to cut the tree and bring the wood into your home. They are not doing this because they do respect the trees, they do respect their environment. And also, you can see a lot of animals, like snakes, like monkeys, like all these things in their area, because they are not hunting. That by tradition, one another house, another choose one, this another house choose another house choose another. So that in this tradition, they will protect the animals. I think we are going to lose all this protection given to environment when this religion or this culture abolish or wipe out by this Muslim, Islamic or Christianity. I think this is the end of what I can say, so that I am prepared for questions.
That's wonderful, Kamilu. Thank you for such a rich and amazing presentation. Could I kick off with the first question, and I can then invite other people to have another round of applause, Kamilu. So here's a round of applause from everybody.
Let me clap for myself.
That was amazing. So you went on with such life and enthusiasm that we really carried us with you all the time. One question I had for you was, could you say something about your relationship to the Maguzawa and how they understand your role, in particular, whether they ask you to partake in any of the rituals or to believe in the same things that they do? Or do they understand you as somebody outside? Could you talk about your friendship with the Maguzawa and how that works?
Yes, my friendship, I say, it's a good friendship. The first time I went to the village for my research, they did not, I can say, did not welcome me because they expect I came for preaching. Because I wear this cap and this one, they expect that I am Muslim. We are speaking the same language. Well, I came from Kano, from city, so definitely I'm Muslim. Just I came to preach them. I say no, I did not come to preach for you. I just came to get information from you. That's all. I think that is the friendship we have with Maguzawa. The Maguzawa they are free to talk to me about their religion because I do not abuse their religions or ask them to change. I think this is a very good relationship where I go to them, they do not see me as a not part of them. I seem like a part of them. Sometimes they do call me. I have someone he has phone, so that we used to call me and greet me. If I anything, then I to ask him, then I would ask him. Then he say, this is it, without going to the village. We have that relationship, we have that bond because I do not go to them for preaching. Usually people go to them for preaching. I go to them for just getting information I do respect their religion. I do respect what they are doing. No sound, no sound.
My fault. So respect is a big part of the relationship. Are there moments in which they would like to understand your life in their terms? So are there moments where they say that's your spirit or your ancestral spirit who's talking to you or having an influence in your life?
Yes, they have, because me, my own is, sometimes I am Muslim by religion, but sometimes I am argue. Some traditional religions have some good things. You understand? There's a good culture in their religion, sometimes more than with this our own religion. That the impact is maybe an environment. I do respect the protection of those trees. If you go to their village, it is wonderful. You will see it's not like a Hausa land. Your Hausa land will do no respect to the trees. If you go to the Muslim towns, you see it's just a field without much trees. When you go their place, you see a lot of trees. Even the weather is cool because of the trees. So that the influence that they take I influencing from them is protection of the environment, because this is a very good thing. And also they are peaceful. They are peaceful because they do not. The traditional religion usually is not violence religion. The traditional religion usually is not violence one. You cannot force somebody or even ask somebody to join you. Nobody will ask you to join them, because it's the family, it's a home religion. The religion is a home, not for foreign or for outsider. It's a home religion. So that this thing is very important. There's no violence. You will not say just combat it, just come and join us. No, they are doing their own, just do your own. I think this thing is very important. If the other religions will copy from them, I think the world will be a peaceful world. No kind of jihadi, no kind of all these things, in the name of religion, killing in the name of religion. No. If you kill, it's not in the name of religion, just you do it in your own. I think this is another important of this. We can say the tradition or the Maguzawa has. They are not violence people. Always they need peace, because they don't have. There's no concept of fighting. No, they don't have all this.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, because that's our seminar series is really interested in how we might learn from indigenous animist cultures, different forms of respect, as you used the term, for aspects of the world that we may not respect otherwise. Have I got questions from other people? I see Jason has got his hand up, so I'll try and keep an eye on questions like that. So Jason, do you want to go?
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I was just struck by this thing about the ancestors in the stone. Are you hearing me? Yeah.
Yes.
I was struck by the fact that you're in describing how the stone is important in the ceremony and in the worship. You're saying that the people they're connecting with the ancestors. So I'm just interested in, I guess, in hearing a bit more explanation about what they think about when they do that. So like, I'm getting the idea of the stone somehow containing the ancestors, or a connection to the ancestors, or the residual presence of the ancestors. And it seems like the tree functions like that as well. The tree contains the residual presence of the ancestor within it. Yes, is that it? I'm just really fascinated by it, and would like to hear you say something more about that.
Okay. I think what's the rock or mountains in Hausa traditional religion is very important. Before the advent of Islam, all the rituals are doing it in front of mountains or on mountains or rocks. I think this is the issue. I mentioned one, verge. Verge is the chief priest of Kano people before the advent of Islam. Maybe we can say more than 1,000 years. He is the chief priest. He preached in one mountain inside the city called Dala Mountains. Dala Mountains. He's doing it once a year. The people go to that mountains and perform rituals as what we see this Maguzawa doing here. But that mountain is a very big one. What they believe, the spirit, not only the spirit of their ancestors, even that the normal spirit, like what we call iskoke, they are used to abode that mountains. They used to sit in the mountains so that mountains attached to their life. And also that tree, in specific that tree, that dashi, is the seat of the one lovely spirit called Kuri. That Kuri is a lovely spirit to Maguzawa. Then that means most of the house or all house to have that tree, that specific trees. Or some trees like kuka, baobab is very important to Maguzawa. We have amia, that means like the tamarind is very important. We have tumpapia, like shrub, is very important. Many trees are very important, but that one has to be in each and every house, because that tree is about the spirit, one spirit called Kuri. But in that stone, I say maybe, or I asked some of them, they say it is sign like of strength, the sign of durability, because the stone will be long for 1,000 years. So that's very important for them. Maybe that's what they expect, even their soul of their ancestors will come and sit on the stone like other spirits. I think this is somehow, I hope I answered the questions.
Does that answer, Jason? Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We have a question from Catherine Peep, who wants to know about the connection between spirits and tunes, where you said that each spirit has his own distinct sound or tune or melody, and she'd like to know kind of what's cause and what's effect here. Is it the tune that calls or evokes the spirit, or is the tune a manifestation of the spirit's presence? Or maybe it doesn't matter. And what happens also if that tune gets recorded on a tape or on a mobile phone? Did you hear that question, Kamilu?
Yes. That tune or melody is related to the spirit, but this is only related to body. You know, there's a kind of activities, rituals that the jita or the melody will not bring the spirit to the place, or either good or bad one. But in case of this body, that melody and tunes bring one or two spirits at the same time, because each and every spirit love one color or one type of tune or one type of melody. And that man who is doing that guitar, he's perfect. He knew the different types of melody, so that he will do this one. If the spirit didn't come to somebody, then he will do another. Like Kure has his own melody, like Giwa has own, like Inna has own melody, so that he will try to do this one and another, because spirit love tune, love melody. You understand? The spirit love it like humans, because even humans, maybe you will choose one or two kind of music you like. so that maybe this sound of this music, you will go. You understand?
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, brilliant.
Whenever they hear kind of melody, or they will go to the place and see what is happening. You see that this one love me, so that let me possess him. I think.
Wonderful. Question from Angela.
Okay.
Hi, Kamilu. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I wanted to ask about how the Maguzawa understand dance, how they understand the dancing's role in connecting to spirit, and also if the dancing and moving of the body, how that relates to the objects and animals as well, and the trees and everything else. Is there a relationship there as well with the dancing?
Okay, I see the dancing is like music. It's the same. If you have one or two musics, then even the dancing is changed. If you see one of the video, you will see that when the one who's drumming that the ganga, that shanty is a special drum for that fighting. But they use it for it and sometimes for other rituals. That dancing, that religion, that's their tradition, their culture, their tradition, love dancing. Dancing is among the part of the religion, like music. And also the spirit, one spirit or another spirit love the dancing. So that when they are doing this kind of girka, they are doing it maybe sometimes a year or a 2 years. They have to do dancing for that. Sometimes dancing is part of ritual or it's part of body, and sometimes just is for festival, just to be just for their happiness. Just they are doing it for their happiness, not for their religion. For sometimes one or another dancing is for body rituals or for Yankan Kofa. Okay. Thank you.
Another question. Do we have any questions from anybody else? Who would like to ask a question next? I think we can go on for a few more minutes. We've got the floor till 4 o'clock. But is there any questions from anybody else? Juan.
Yes, thanks so much for this presentation, and hello everyone. I think no one knows me around here, but yeah, that was a brilliant presentation. Thanks so much. My question is, and maybe I missed this bit, or you already mentioned that. Is there any time of the year that has a more it's more special symbolically, has more prominence during the year, some festivity? And the question I would be interested would be, is that related to, for example, environmental changes, like changes of seasons or dry rain seasons, etc., or would be that related to, for example, less local things, like, for example, changes in the kind of the stars, for example, things that are not necessarily local. Sorry, that wasn't a very clear question, but the question is whether there is some kind of a calendar during the year, and if that's related to local environmental conditions.
Okay, as I told earlier, they are doing this ritual, what we saw the first film or first video, twice a year, after harvesting and before rain season. That they call it in Hausa, we have 2 or 3 weather. We have Damuna, that is during rain season. During rain season, they are not doing anything, only farming. Then after rain season, then Kaka is the time of festival. After harvesting, the time of festival, the time of both ritual and other festival. They have one festival called Baraya. Baraya, they are doing Baraya when the harvest, they have bumper harvests. When the harvest is good, then they will do this Baraya. They call it Baraya. But when the harvest is poor due to the climate change or something like this, they are not doing it. That one is not religious one. It's not ritual one. It's just for be happy when they have bumper harvest. And also, they are doing one in what we call Bazara. We say Bazara is the time when, like dry season, when there's no rain, then we call it Bazara. They are doing one before the rain season. That one in particular is very important because in that ritual, they will ask for good rain season, good harvesting. They will ask for good harvesting. Then they will ask for blessing for the whole rain season time. That one is very important. But the last one is they will ask for another blessing, and the happiness and also the gratitude. Then they have good harvesting. I say this one is very important to them. They are doing it twice in case of ritual. Then they are doing one festival when the harvesting is good, when they have bumper harvesting. And also it's related to, especially that bumper harvesting, that what we call barrier, is very important. It is related to climate change. If the harvesting, if the rain season is good, then they will do it. If not, then they will not do it. They will all ask for their ancestors or their spirit to get a good harvesting for another year. That's all this is related to their calendar of farming. All is calendar of farming. Before the time of farming, they will do ritual. Then after, then they will do another.
Great, thanks so much.
Anybody else have a question? Anybody else like to ask anything? Okay. Well, I think we've had a wonderful session.
I have my hand up.
Oh, sorry. Wonderful. Hello, Jim. Go ahead. I just can't see it. It's limited to who I can see.
Okay. I'd just like to, first of all, thank Kamilu for his very vivid evocation of the life of these people. Speaking for me personally, it's 55 years since I read Witchcraft and Oracles Amongst the Azande, and I felt the same excitement today in your presentation. Thank you very much indeed for that. And I want to ask a question about you as researcher, because Evans Pritchard was an outsider trying to understand Azande culture. And you're a kind of insider. You're not an insider, but you're local and you're West African. So I want to ask you, as researcher, what were the advantages and disadvantages of your status as local researcher?
Okay, I think it's clear the advantage of my research is I can go, I spent years for this research because they are living with us. It's not far from me. Maybe sometimes I can reach some part 1 2 hours journey. Then I'm doing this almost for close to 20 years. I used to go anytime I have my leisure, then I will go and do the research. It's not one time research because you cannot understand them with just coming for 1, 2, or 3 days, or 1 week, or 2 weeks, or a year. Because sometimes if you go to them, then you will see new something. If you go to them, then you will get another understanding of what you see before. Because by frequent visits, by frequent going to them, then you will learn a lot from them. I think I can say I learned something more than one from Maguzawa or 2 of them. Maybe if they collectively they can teach me, but I can teach one of them separately. Because even that Maguzawa, when you go to another place, their culture, their traditions, their way of life is different from another village. Then this religion is not uniform. It's not uniform. When the culture is not uniform, it's not uniform. When you go to another place, then you will see different from what this village is doing. I told you, I went to south to east, I went to southwest. There's a difference. All of them are Hausa, they can speak Hausa, they are Maguzawa, but maybe the environment changed the culture of this particular area and change for particular area. That means important for me as a local researcher is I can research. You know, I can do it. But if somebody outside, like the research of Greenberg, I told you Joseph Greenberg, he did his research in 1949. That is his research. I go through the research. There are something who is missing because he's not part of the culture. He's not part of the people. He's saying something, but it's not correct because he did not understand it. There's one, he said, all the Maguzawa are Kutumbawa. You know, Kutumbawa is a clan of ruling family or ruling priests before the coming of this jihad in Hausa land. That Kutumbawa is a clan, is not tribe. But say all of them are Kutumbawa, was not. When you go there, I went there, I discussed with them, they are not Kutumbawa. They are just have some names. It's not Kutumbawa, but generally you say Kutumbawa because you don't know what is known as Kutumbawa. That is the issues of the maybe foreign researcher. When he come, he spend 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then he go. Then he did not understand. Even in my book, Ascending Hausa, the origin of Hausa, there's a Leo Africanus. Leo Africanus is one of the geographers or researcher at the 16th century. He mentioning something which is not real because he just came to Hausa land and did not stay long so that he just write and go. When somebody read it, he said, this is not correct because we are not like this. He asked maybe 1 or 2 persons, just go. He did not understand. Even the language of Hausa, he cannot say, this is the language. He said, they are speaking the language of Gobir. Instead to say they are speaking Hausa language. You understand? He did not even ask, which language are you speaking? You don't know. He did not even ask, which tribe are you speaking? He all just mentioning the towns, the kingdoms. I think the importance of local researcher, he can say, he can write, and he can write anything or close to everything related to what is research because he's part of the society or he's part of the environment. Like me, I am Hausa. Those Maguzawa, they are Hausa. We have the same tribe. The only difference between me and them is religion, so that I can understand them well. They can understand me. I think this is. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you, Kamilu, for that answer. Was that okay? As an answer, do you need to come back on that?
No,
Jim?
no, I'm very happy with that.
Brilliant. Okay. And there was also Will Ray. You had your hand up.
Just very briefly, thank you very much for a really invigorating and interesting talk. The persistence of the tradition is clearly one that's held very much by the people. So my question was, what are the historical relationships with Usman Dan Fodio and the Sokoto Caliphate and the various jihads that presented a kind of orthodoxy, but also then into the present? What is the relationship with Boko Haram and the issues that are facing northern Nigeria today, and how is the ritual being affected by these political events of today?
Okay, I think you spoke about 2 issues. The first one is jihad. Even the jihad did not wipe out the traditional religions, because that jihad, particularly in the city, just to take the kingdom, not to change the people. I think because even here we sometimes we argue, no standing people here in Kano for these 200 years to give them work by the king. Just the king is in the city just to collect the tax from outside the city, just to tax them, not to convert them to Islam. You understand? That means even the jihad does not affect the Maguzanchi or Maguzawa, does not affect them because they are in bush doing their own religion. I think now the situation now for Boko Haram. Boko Haram, maybe we can say it affects some part of Maguzawa. Even though the Boko Haram is happening now in northeastern Nigeria, because now I'm speaking from northwestern Nigeria. But in northeastern Nigeria, there are some pagans or some non-Muslims with this Boko Haram affected them or due to brutality and even this kind of nonsense what they are doing. Even the Muslims did not free from their activities. Then non-Muslims is the same thing being affected by what's happening there. But here in Hausa land, they don't have any effect by Boko Haram activities. So that was Maguzawa. Maguzawa, they are living in their bush, they are doing their religion, they are living in their village, they are doing their religion. The only problem Maguzawa are facing is missionaries, not Boko Haram. Missionaries always are going and make promise. If you convert it, I will give you something. If you convert it, I will give you always promise. Then there was time I see last year I went, some of the woman, she started praying. You said if I converted, you give me something. You didn't give me. Why? Because they are being attracted by what they been given, not their own by preaching, not by only by preaching. They say this is good, this is no. If you convert it, I will give you something. If you convert it, I will give you clothes. If you convert, I think the Maguzawa is affected by missionaries, either Muslim or Christian missionary, not Boko Haram.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wonderful. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep track of hands up, and I've discovered a new view which is enabling me to see most people, I think. But does anybody have their hand up? If you have got your hand up and I've missed you, please just put your microphone on and shout. Okay. We may have come to the end of the party then. Kamilu, thank you for being so generous in your answers as well as so generous in your talk. And thank you so much for sharing with us all your wonderful research, the work of a lifetime. So yeah, we're very, very grateful for you. And perhaps we can have another round of applause for you all now. Thank you, Kamilu.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kamilu. And we'll be in touch. And if anybody would like to be to come to our next talk, I believe I think we had her here at this point at some point, but I think she may have gone now. But she's going to be giving a talk next time on her book Radical Animism. And if you'd like, if you're not part of the animist network that I've kind of brought together, then do email me, and I've put my email on the chat function. So I'd be very pleased just to put you in my list of people to tell about things when I have things going on. And if anybody has any suggestions for future events that they would like to see, people they'd like us to invite, at the moment when it's on a webinar, it's actually sort of easier in many ways than it is if we were to do it in reality. It's not as fun, but it is easier, and it means we can reach people from much further away as well. So do let me know if you'd like, if you'd like to present yourself as well. That would be great. Okay, so thank you ever so much, everybody. And there is a recording of this that we will make available, and I'll let people know through the Animist Engagements Collective how to access that recording. Hopefully it'll be on our website at some point. But thank you ever so much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed today. We've got a new message, two new messages. Is there any place you can see previous presentations? Because they all happened in not virtually, but actually at the University of Leeds, we didn't have them recorded, unfortunately. There is an oral recording of the poetry event. So if you type in animist engagements onto Google, we have a website, and there's a recording of that event. There's some wonderful readings from some amazing poets, and a kind of interesting discussion we had there as well.